Today, we are talking about imposters, but what if the imposter in your midst was you? Well, that probably isn't the case, but studies show that most people believe that they are somewhat of an imposter. And even worse, they constantly fear they'll be found out. Clinical psychologist Dr. Dathan Paterno of Park Ridge Psychology in Chicago is here to tell us all about it. Dr. Paterno, welcome back to Smart Life.
Hi, good to see you, Gina.
Good to have you, Dr. Paterno. Now, I have to admit, when I read through the symptoms of this imposter syndrome, I was looking in a mirror, essentially. Did you get that feeling too? Like, how normal is this whole imposter syndrome?
Well, the imposter syndrome is really a fixed personality that uses the imposter position more often until it's really just a large part of the personality. The imposter position essentially is denying one's accomplishments or viewing one's accomplishments as unreal or a stroke of good luck, good timing, or somebody else's doing. We all do that sometimes, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's totally appropriate for us to give credit to other people.
Sure.
However, when that becomes utterly fixed and you just can't take credit or have any decent, holy pride, then it becomes a problem. That's the imposter syndrome.
Okay. So there's a distinction because all of us do this at some time or another, you're saying.
Sure.
There's a distinction between those who it's really impacting their lives and their self-confidence and all of those
Yes.
things, as opposed to those of us who just once in a while feel like, gosh, I don't deserve the good things that are coming my way, which really should be part of the human condition to begin with for humility's sake, correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. It's a matter of degree.
Yes, exactly. So Maya Angelou, I know who, I'm not a big fan of her, whatever. I couldn't name one thing she's done, but I know she's written 11 books. And she even said that even as she was just wrapping up the 11th book, she had this thought, they're going to figure me out. They're going to figure out that I'm not really all of these things that they think I am. And a lot of people, when they reach the peaks of their career, they tend to maybe start to have this feeling that maybe they somehow don't deserve it or that somehow what they put forth is not real. But this is especially true, I read, for women. Why is that?
Well, it's one of the main reasons or the main purposes of that imposter position. And the third one that I talk about is that internalized view of inferiority. Whether you're a minority or you're a woman or you're an individual who has been abused or misused or neglected or told for many, many years or generations that you are less valuable and less worthwhile than others, you're going to solidify that in your mind, and your ego, your soul, your heart won't make room for the opposite, which is a decent pride, a decent positive view. And so people like that simply cannot incorporate the good into what is firmly believed to be bad.
One of the things I read was that you should internalize compliments. And most of us, I don't know, I can't stand people who give them a compliment and they're like, yeah, I know. I mean, that's so annoying. But how do you internalize compliments without sounding arrogant? You really, if I say to you, Dr. Paterno, you did such a great job in your book. I love your book. I can hear you saying thank you, but you're probably going to start giving credit to, gosh, it's so much that I have a great wife that compliments my parenting practices, and I've learned so much from her. I have great children. I mean, that's the normal good thing to do. So how do you balance that, still be gracious, and internalize compliments especially?
Yeah. Well, some cultures are really profoundly strong at that. I mean, I know some cultures that automatically are just very, very humble. There's a desire to to avoid pride at almost all costs. You know, it's almost like the 11th commandment, thou must always be humble at all times and give credit to other people. And that's a cultural bias.
Hmm.
And, and it also can be because some people are punished for taking credit or being prideful and acknowledging their accomplishments or strengths or gifts. But I really, what I think this boils down to is a sense that people feel like they have to earn their worth. And if you have to earn your worth and your value doesn't come from God, then you're going to have to scramble. You're going to have to constantly work for it, and you can never rest. And that's what I think people need is they need the balance of resting in somebody else's goodness and putting the stamp of approval on them. And then they'd be more comfortable with a balanced view of recognizing that I'm good at a couple things and I can take some credit for that.
Hmm.
I'm okay at most things. And then I kind of stink at a few things, and that's okay too. And so, if we don't have that balance, then we're either going to avoid compliments like the plague because we're so uncomfortable with it, or we're going to have to be addicted to it in order to fill our ego.
Exactly. Dr. Dathan Paterno, thank you so much for being with us today here on Smart Life. We appreciate your work.
Thank you.
All right. Also, many times in life we feel like we're an imposter. We live in fear that at any moment we're going to be revealed for what we really are. We feel like we don't deserve what we've earned. That luck maybe had more to do with it, or the team around us. But don't worry. Cheeky scientist is with us, Isaiah Hankel. Dr. Hankel, from where do you hail today?
Dr. Gina, good to be back. I'm in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. All right. Well, so tell us this: when we have these imposter feelings, we feel like we aren't deserving or whatever. What are the messages we can kind of send back to ourselves, Dr. Hankel, to combat these problems?
Yeah, I think the first thing is to just practice accepting your own victories. Internalizing or owning your own victories. So when somebody says, great job, or you do something that you've been trying to do, you reach an outcome that you were trying to achieve. Take a minute to be grateful for that, and maybe write it down, maybe come back to it before you start moving on to the next thing, and really just take a moment and accept that you accomplished something. And if other people compliment you on it, accept that compliment too. Say thank you. Don't hide from it. Don't bat it away or punt it to somebody else. I mean, if you did your part, own it.
So this really isn't a problem as long as this is just sort of almost a matter of humility in our lives. This becomes a problem when? What are the manifestations, Dr. Hankel, of, oh my, something's gone awry here?
The manifestations of imposter syndrome, when something's gone bad, like if you are not owning your victories. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, when it's gone too far and somebody actually needs to seek help over this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing that you can do is, if you're feeling this way, like you're suggesting, to reach out to other people and to ask for help. I wrote an article on this. One thing that I was sure to mention is, ask for help, wait for help, and to also practice being authentic. If you're trying to constantly hide the fact that you're feeling like an imposter, that's when you will become an imposter. That's when you're kind of feeding that imposter position. But if you open up your walls and take down the image and say, you know what, I feel a little fake here. Am I seeing clearly? Talk to people that you talk to confidants. I think that's the first step.
Exactly. So tell us a personal experience that you have with this, or what got you on this topic, because I know you've written about this.
Yeah, I think this is something that almost everybody faces, and there's been a couple of studies on it and a couple of surveys, and it's around 70% of people at one time or another.
Wow, that's high.
They have felt like an imposter. Having these feelings of self-doubt, like they're fake. Intellectual fraudulence is one phrase that I heard. And for me, when I went to graduate school, when I started getting my PhD, there was part of me that was like, okay, just play it cool. Nobody will know that you're just like the dumb jock that slipped through the cracks. But there was this thing inside of me that kept just kind of waiting for someone to tap me on the shoulder and say, like, hey, dude, you don't belong here. Or I had visions of like coming back to my desk and a note being there being like, we know, signed everyone. And this is something that I faced, in college when I signed up for pre-med classes. There was a lot of smart people there, and the funny thing in retrospect is that everybody else was probably thinking at least at one point the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing that you pointed out in your article about this is you said something about if you're sitting here thinking, well, that person has this advantage over me and that person has that advantage over me, they're probably sitting and thinking of the traits that you have over them. So the trick of it, Isaiah, you say, is to really compare you to you And we don't do that very often. I think in careers especially, we're comparing ourselves to someone who's maybe been in our business for 20 years longer than us. And we're saying, well, I'm failing because I'm not having the same success as they are. Or even someone who's progressed further through school or whatever. So that's really the trick. And I love that you pointed that out in the article. Isaiah, remind us where we can find your work and remind us where people can read that great post that you wrote.
Yeah, so that's on my personal website. It's isaiahhankel.com, and you can just go to the blog there and find it.
All right, awesome. Where are you off to now, Dr. Hankel?
I'll be back in Germany this week.
Be back in Germany this week. You have the cool life. I just want you to know we all live vicariously. Thanks for being with us again. Dr. Isaiah Hankel, isaiahhankel.com. You can find him there. He is the cheeky scientist. You can Google him and find a lot of his stuff there as well.